All right, it's the video you guys have been bugging me on TikTok for, and I'm so happy I can finally start on this. So we're gonna be going through what different types of brands of shocks that are available for most of the Toyota family brand. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cover the most popular models for this video, and we're gonna move to getting the older models and the next video, because if I were to bunch those two together, this video would be 10 years long. And it's just way too much to cover, unfortunately. So this is my first time making a video like this, so please be gentle. It's way out of my usual realm of comfort, and I'm just doing this out of my own free will and time to try to give you guys any information. If you feel like I missed anything, just leave it in the comments below, and I will get it on the next one, I promise. So what are you trying to achieve with the lift kit? Basically, you're wanting to raise up the height of the vehicle to clear obstacles as you're going off-road. Other people like to do it plainly just to have that look. And either choice you have or desire you want to achieve with your truck is okay. A lift kit is basically a change in the suspension to raise the vehicle higher off the ground. And it's not like a body lift where it lifts the body away from the frame to get that height. You're actually altering the suspension itself. You're bringing the frame higher off the ground than what you would normally have. So the lift kits I'm going to be primarily talking about is going to be the like shock replacements, control arm replacements. We're not going to go into rough country or any of the whole puck lifts or block lifts of any of that sort. Yeah, it's me from the future. So I forgot like one little detail, and that is that all these lifts are a 3-inch lift. The only one that is not is the Bilstein 5100s, and I will interrupt then. So you're gonna see me again when we get to that point of the video. So yeah, we can go back to the video. So the first kit we're going to be looking into is going to be the Toytec Aluma series. This is the 2-inch diameter version of it. They do have a 2.5-inch diameter for an additional cost. Now the reason why we recommend this 2-inch is that if you're just wanting a good ride, cruise around town, and then hit the trails on the weekend for a small adventure, these shocks will do it. And the best thing is that they are reasonably well priced for what you get. The plus sides on the positive things about this thing is that it is a rebuildable body. So after you've had them for a very long time and they're starting to show their age, you can literally send these out to get overhauled, and when you get them back, they're just like new again. And that's amazing. They also have an adjustable collar so you can adjust the ride height, and they do well with bumpers as well. So if you're having plans to putting a front bumper on your rig, these will do it. So the Aluma series is actually available for 1st gen Tacos, 3rd gen 4Runners, 4th gen, 5th gen 4Runners, and 2nd gen and 3rd gen Tacomas. They are also available for Tundras and 1st gen Sequoias. Now, the cool thing is that if you're running a 4Runner, they will work with KDSS, and they come with medium springs in the back. The King's kit does not offer that, so that's also a big plus. And the price point, if you were to get the 2.0s non-reservoir with SBC upper control arms, then you're only in about $3,000, and it does sound steep, but this is a system that you can run for a very long time and abuse it and enjoy it, it's just great. So now this is going to be an option for you budget guys that don't have $3,000 to burn, and we understand that, but you still want to give your truck a better look. All right, well, what I have for you is the Bilstein 5100s. These are actually really cool because they're affordable. You can get them anywhere from $450 to $650 for all four. And that covers quite a variety of vehicles. Most of your 4Runners it's available for most of the 4Runner family. It's available for all of the Tacoma family. It is available for the Tundra family, Sequoia family, and I think even for, I don't know what else I'm missing. That covers quite a spectrum. If you don't want to break the bank, but you want to level out your ride, and by that meaning trying to reduce the amount of rake on your truck and bring the front end up a little higher, the Bilstein 5100s can do this, and they do it really well. Now, it's 450 to 650 depending on what vehicle you have. It replaces the original shock, and you run the original stock spring and top mount. Now, what's cool about it is that it's adjustable. It has rings down here and a lock ring, and the collar moves up and down to wherever you want to change it. The only downside is if you want to change the ride height, you do have to take the whole shock apart to do so. You can take this up to a 3-inch lift. If you do plan to take it up to a 3-inch lift, just know that you guys with the 120 frame and the 150 frames, and that's FJ Cruiser, 4Runners, GXs, all that. If you go above 2 inches, you're going to need upper control arms for a decent alignment. You can sometimes get away without it. I just warn you, your caster is going to be very low, and highway performance is going to be pretty poor. The truck's going to feel like it wants to wander a bit. Some people don't mind, but I am at least warning you at least ahead of time. Okay, on the Bilstein 5100s, you can take these guys up to a 3-inch lift. It's not really recommended because they do end up riding a little stiffer, and some people don't like that. If you don't mind it, then it's okay. Now, those collars where you can adjust the ride height, you can set it up to the closest to the highest setting, and it will give you a 3-inch lift. Now, if you're running a 4Runner, and this is involving 3rd all the way to 5th generation, you do have to upgrade the rear springs to get the full 3-inch lift. Now, you can get a different front spring, and I believe it's either from Old Man Emu, Ibach, or I can't remember. But if you're gonna go and push up to a 3-inch anyways, and you're gonna try to do it through the Bilstein 5100s, a better option might actually be to go with Dobinsons or Old Man Emu. Yeah, back to the video. All right, now to stick on to the budget guys as well. If you're not wanting to wait out for the Bilstein 5100, some honorable mentions. Are a little more pricey, but they work really well. Dobinson is a good brand. They've gone up over the years. I have installed countless of their kits, and I've had tons of customers that have been very happy with them. They have a crazy inventory with lots of spring choices, lots of different shock choices. They cover a large variety of the Toyota family. If you want to get more info on that, I would highly recommend contacting Treaty Oak and getting your information from there, because if I were to make a video about Dobinson, it would be 2 hours long. But they are a good company, and they are a really good option as well. Another honorable mention, and Land Cruiser guys, you might want to listen up, Old Man Emu is actually pretty decent on the budget. I've installed a couple of their kits on the 80 series, and a ton of them on Tacomas, 4Runners, GXs. I mean, basically, most of the 4x4 family, I've installed some Old Man Emus. I've seen them a little more popular on the Tacoma guys, but I mean, they're also decently well priced. They're not gonna be, most of them are not gonna be at the under the $1,000 range for the kit, but they are gonna range closer to $1,000 to $1,500 and maybe a little bit more, depending what packages you decide to get with them. But it is a solid performer on-road and off-road. They are just a little stiffer than what you would get out of other shocks, but they last and they are proven. All right, 2nd gen 4Runner guys. This one's a little bit tricky. The only option I've known have installed also is going to be Old Man Emu, OME. There's 2 different variations of this kit. You can get it with the ball joint spacers or the torsion bars, and what makes it so difficult is, well, it is a IFS system with torsion bars. So you're gonna be a little limited you're gonna be limited as to what you can get without having to do a crazy amount of customization and stuff like that, unfortunately. I'm back again. Yeah, I know. So I'm bad. Pro Comp does make a kit for the second gen 4Runner. I don't know how good it is. I have installed the OME one on the Hilux that you guys have probably seen on TikTok, and the guy's been pretty happy with it, and we've beat the living bejesus out of it. It was not treated properly, and it's been holding up really well. On top of that, it's not much of a lift. It does more of a droop kind of thing, which works really well, and it does lift it up a little bit, but I don't recommend. I think because of his setup, we actually had to not only do the torsion bar, but we had to do like a mixture of the ball joint spacer and the torsion bar. I can't quite remember. The second gen is not a very popular generation, but there is a forum post that went pretty intense into the lift kits for the second gen, and I will post that in the info below. So sorry guys, it's just there's not a lot of stuff available for it unless you did something crazy and gutted out the IFS system and did a solid axle front end, and then that just gets really complicated and expensive. It's just, yeah. So this is the most I can come up with for second gens, and I'm sorry. I'll try to dig a little deeper, but I don't expect to find much. If your budget's pretty big and you want something that rides really good, performs really well, King is king. I've installed so many different brands of lift kits over the past years, and the only one that to me is the most noticeable and ride difference and off-road feeling, how it just eats up the road and all that stuff, King is the one that I can tell the biggest difference between all the different brands, and that is something that I can't begin to explain. They are on the pricey side. They also offer lots of different variations, from just regular reservoir to damper to adjustable and stuff like that. I mean, it's insane what they offer with these. There's even a 3-inch option with bypasses. That is just insane, and they're off-road racing proven. Like they've been doing this stuff for years. You can buy these for the 3rd gen all the way up to 5th gen 4Runner. You can also get them for the FJ Cruiser, and usually when I say FJ Cruiser, I just want you guys to know that it is also in line with the 4Runner family, because they do share the same frame. Same with the GX guys. So GX 460, 470s, you guys can definitely dip into that. Tacomas, 1st gen all the way to 3rd. Tundras, 1st gen, 2nd gen. Sequoias for sure 1st gen, and I'm pretty sure, but I'll have to double check, and I'll put a yes or no here, 2nd gen Sequoias, there's even an option for you guys as well. Some of our honorable mentions on at least shop companies is going to be Fox and Icon. Those I know are well-known brands. They do make some good products. I just don't have enough information and unfortunately not enough time for me to kind of spew it all out. But they are okay. If you guys are interested in that kind of system, just contact your local dealers for them. There's one more kit that I did not mention on the high budget, and that is the Elkas. The Elkas I installed on a 5th gen 4Runner, and I was really surprised with the performance and how it actually felt. It was almost comparable to the Kings, and I actually really want to get a set for myself to put on my Tacoma so I can go take it out to the trails and really beat it up just to see how they actually handle. If you have an 80 series, there's quite a bit of options for you guys, from double shock systems from Icon, Kings, and OME. There's Dobinson starting to make some pretty good kits for them now these days. So far, the only one that I've actually felt like it was the best riding so far that I have experienced myself was the Stage 2 from Icon. They actually knocked that one out pretty good. The only big deal that you guys are gonna have to kind of understand with 80 series is that when you lift those guys up, you lose quite a bit of caster on that front axle. Now, Icon and OME sell caster correction bushings. Now, Dobinson sells a caster correction plate set, which actually changes the mounting locations of the radius arm, giving you at least most of that caster back. Those are pretty much the options that you can have for the 80 series. But if you have the money to boot, you can also look into the Delta arms that replaces the factory radius arms, and those are, I've actually installed a set of those on our LQ4 swapped 80 series that we did for a customer of ours, and he was pretty happy with it, and the alignment was actually pretty decent from what I remember. Let's talk about upper control arms for a second. Now that we covered most of the kits, there's something you need to know when it comes to upper control arms. Now, the factory control arm is good upwards to about 2 inches of lift. After that, you're gonna start losing a lot of caster, and on some of the models, you're gonna be pressed to push even 1 degree of caster, which is gonna give really poor highway performance. You're gonna feel wandering on while trying to stay on your lane. It's just not going to be a very fun ride. So there's several options you can go with this. Now, I'm just going to kind of put it to you guys this way. SPC is
$629.95.
that, and it is a good product. Their ball joints are easily to replace. It allows us to really set, or allows you to set your alignment to factory spec with up to a 3-inch lift, which is insane if you think about it, because usually back like 10 years ago when lifting trucks, you had to sacrifice your alignment to get that look, and a lot of people didn't like that. But with SPC, it allows you to get that alignment, and not only SPC does that, Total Chaos arms do it as well. Icon arms do it as well. The only difference is that SPC is one of the few aftermarket upper control arms that allow you extra adjustment on your alignment, which is fantastic. Now, it is a regular style kind of ball joint. Total Chaos comes with an open lid ball joint, and Icon comes with what's it called? It's called
Delta joint.
The Delta joint, which is a massive improvement to Icon's old open eyelid ball joint design that was way too noisy. Now, I will say this, Total Chaos is noisy too, and you guys need to understand that style of ball joint is for off-road Baja racing. That is what it really is intended for, and you do have to keep maintenance on them. It's not just bolt on and forget like the SPCs are. You are going to have to put a silicone lubricant into the open eyelid joint and clean them off at least at minimal once a month, or else they're going to start making noise. Some of them will not make noise, but some of them will. It's just kind of a luck of the draw kind of thing, and it is what it is. Although you do get a good alignment with the Total Chaos style upper control arms, and you do get a good alignment with the Icons. Now, the Icons don't favorably go as high on caster like Total Chaos and SPC, but they got it dialed in pretty well where it's still comfortable to drive. On the SPCs, you do need to grease the ball joints at least once every 6,000 miles or so. Just a couple pumps of grease into the ball joint, and it's fine. It doesn't really need much more than that. The other thing is all these upper control arms that I mentioned, the benefit to them also is that they all have what is called what I call it might have a different name for it, but it is a free floating style kind of bushing, which means that when it's torqued down on the truck, it doesn't try to spring back to a regular position. This gives it also a softer feel in the front end, and it also gives more articulation. So there's a lot of other benefits that the upper control arms can give you, not just getting a better alignment, but it does offer more articulation and a better ride. This is the last time you're gonna see me. Okay. So one of the things I did not have time to film at the shop, because I was doing this at the end of the day and I had to rush home to the kids, is reliefs for the Tundra and the Tacomas. Icon, Old Man Emu, and Toytec each make their own leaf springs, and I think Toytec, for at least Tacomas, I know for sure, I'm positive, make a 10-pack. This is a very stiff leaf. It's very stiff. It flexes okay, but I would probably go with like an Old Man Emu or the Icon leaf packs. Dakar makes a decent set. If you can't really afford the extra $600 to $700 for a new set of leaves, you can do the add a leaf system. Toytec even offers a progressive add a leaf, which basically allows you to still hold a good amount of cargo and not overload the springs. But other than that, that pretty much covers that subject. If I miss anything, you guys gotta let me know, and I'll try to cover it on the next video. Next week, we'll start covering on Toyota pickups, FJ40s, 45s, 55s, 60s, that older generation of the Land Cruiser family, and of course Toyota pickups and first gen 4Runners. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this is my first time doing a video like this. This is way out of my repertoire. If I miss anything, if I miss your truck, that's not what I just talked about before. If you got any other things you wish for me to cover on this subject itself, leave it down in the comments below. I will read all of them, I promise. I'll take that feedback and we'll include it on the next video for next week. Other than that, thank y'all so much. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button. If you didn't, you hit the dislike button, but at least leave a comment. Let me know what we did so we can fix it. Other than that, you guys have a good evening. I am out. I'm going home.